What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Recon. His opponent today in the red color. You know him. He's been playing ISIS a lot, and he's still playing ISIS. His name is Kimo. And we are here ready to be entertained. Entertain us, they say. Let's take a quick look at the relics on the map. We've got up on the top position here. We've got Scales of Echidna here, sitting with the myth unit food, wood, gold, cost minus 15%. Over here in the top of the map, we've got Armor of Achilles. This one reducing the vulnerability to hack by 5%. Over on the right-hand corner of the map, we've also got Dwarven Horseshoes. Huge relics there for both players thus far. And finally, Skulls of the Cercipes here. So, yes, very, very crazy relics for this one. We'll see how it's gonna. We'll see if it's gonna matter or not. But I mean, we kind of already know what Kimo's plan is here. But he is playing up. Oh, Recon's so nice. Look at him. He just comes in. He's like, Kimo, you've got some goats here. Do you want to send those in? Yes. Okay. No worries. But this matchup is interesting because the Loki has got so much pressure that it can exert in the classical age. Not the classical age, the heroic age. That the ISIS player really needs to be very, very careful. So we'll see how this is all going to go. There are berries and chickens forward for Kimo, so he's got to be a little bit careful on that. Can get hit with some early game raids and stuff from Hersa and all the other good stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to just do any sort of naked, fast heroics. But this map is also really good for classical fighting. I think everybody is, well, not everybody, a lot of Egyptian players are very, very aware of how strong playing Wadjet classical fight is. But ISIS has also got a really, really strong Bast classical fight and Anubis classical fight. So they're both options in a way. If you go for the Bast classical fight, you don't have to make Sphinx. You actually are just gearing into a Ancestors Eclipse timing with Scorpion Men and the barracks units. And that can hit like a truck even against a Flaming Weapons Loki, especially if you go for like pure Axemen and those myth units, then all of a sudden the Axemen are going to be able to cane on those Hersa even during Flaming Weapons, and the rest of the units are going to be able to kill off any sort of Flaming Weapons, throw an Axeman or raiding cavalry that they might make. So there's some really, really good options there. But Kimo, he's advancing through Bast. No real surprises there, as Recon has decided Heimdall is his god of choice. Now, this is a little bit late for the Heimdall because you want to be clicking that undermine right on when the town center drops. So we'll see what Kimo's plan is here, if he's going to have the extra resources just in case, and if if Recon knows the timings on how to deny a town center with Heimdall. This can be really, really strong. But nonetheless, some goats coming in. Hersa now coming out to start grabbing relics. Armor of Achilles here is a nice one there, just to kick the game off. We haven't really seen Kimo. He's not going for that Hands of the Pharaoh, so he's not even going for Skulls of Cercipes here. Absolutely wild, to say the very least, as the villagers dropping off their gold. And look at this gold situation now for Kimo. He's got just enough to afford this town center. And Recon here is going to be able to deny the town center. Heimdall is coming through. And he does hit Heimdall as the town center starts. And Kimo just completely ignoring this fact. This town center is going to get denied. You just got to undermine it now. There it goes. Undermine coming in. The villagers need to pull off, and they do so. Do that, and you can see, look, the gold is not in. And all of a sudden, Hersa are through, and the villagers have to pull all the way back. Kimo now deciding, whoop, barracks going to go down? No. Yes, a barracks is going to come down, and Kimo going to have to make out a couple of axemen here to kick this game off with. So a nice little start here for Recon. going through Heimdall, denying a town center. Lots of idle villager time here as well. But he is down a little bit in terms of upgrades. He's not going to have access to ferocity with Hall of Thanes or Mithril Breastplate. So his Berserk's going to be a little bit weaker. His Hursa going to be weaker. His Huskar going to be weaker. The benefits, though, for going through Heimdall is he gets access to this technology in the temple called Safeguard. He also gets access to this technology in the town center called Riggs Thula, both of which are very, very strong. Now, it does take a hot minute for those to actually come through. One way to speed this process up is you go and find aggressive hunt on the minimap. You can get yourself the hyena here. You can kill that off. You can kill off the elephants in the corner of the map, a rhino in the center. You also get a little bit of favor, I believe, for killing off a zebra. I'm actually not 100% sure how much, but I think it's a tiny bit, especially if you kill it with the Hursa. But nonetheless, it's going to be a second town center for Recon, and Kimo is now at the 6 minute and 10 second mark going to be dropping his own second town center. There's a couple of raiding cavalry going to come in and get a little bit of pressure on, but with the Sphinx and a couple of axemen, this isn't going to do a whole lot. And after all of the early game proceedings end, both players end up with a second town center around about the same time, which does favor the Heimdall play in terms of economy, just on the fact that it's Norse and you've also got the Rigsthula to grab. There's the villagers coming over here to drop a granary. Going to go onto the zebra and do all the other good stuff. Got some raiding cavalry over on this side as well. Just snipe down those zebra. Just to get that little bit of favor in. Yeah, he is getting favor, but it's less favor for the raiding cavalry than it would be for Hursa. As we still haven't got Rigsthula in. Still needs 2 more favor to come in. And it does take him quite a while with only the 6 Hursa out. But nonetheless, it's not a crazy rush. It's like when you get it, you get it. It's not the biggest of deals. A couple of monkeys just hanging out, blocking up this position. Checking on the back town center and any sort of back hunt down here as well. Does Recon have himself Eyes of the Forest? No, not just yet. Eyes of the Forest is really, really good with raiding cavalry. It's also good for Hursa as well, because you can just see so much of the map when you're moving around. Longhouse going to get dropped down. The favor is now in for Rigsthula. We'll see if he wants to grab that one. I do think it's sort of a technology you just want to get whenever you can afford it, because it doesn't take that long to pay itself off. It's cheaper than most economic upgrades at 200 gold and 20 favor. You just ignore the favor because it's technically free. And it gets you more villagers out, which is better than most economic upgrades. Plus, it also helps produce everything else. I think your build speed goes up, your train speed goes up, everything goes up by 20%. Small great halls coming through, and it looks to me like Kimo will be heading now towards the heroic age, as Rigsthula will decide to come in. And another bonus of Rigsthula is the train time that you spend on this, the 20 seconds of train time, you actually get that back by going to the heroic age. So if you get this before the heroic age, that train time, effectively you can just throw it out the window, especially if you get the upgrade and then advance. Obviously 20 seconds less on every single villager will be some resources lost, or 15 seconds less on, 20 seconds less on every villager will be some resources lost until it's kind of made up for it in terms of the train time, but it's still really good. As a couple of spearmen now going to come through, be a little bit of a harassment over here, as those guys are just going to pull back into the main base, bashing away at a wall here for the time being. Not going to be that useful. Lots and lots of gold in the bank here for Recon. He still doesn't have himself Safeguard. It could be a time now to pick that one up and just be ready to get yourself like the boosted walls, boosted towers, and also start thinking about getting those hill forts up for very, very cheap. But lots of walls up at the moment to just protect himself. Recon is such a defensive player here, as I'd be surprised if Kimo doesn't go Mythic Age basically straight away. He's got Ancestors Eclipse, the base being walled in. I'd love to see another wall over here, but the base being walled in for Recon means it's probably not going to be... Actually, there is a big opening here, there's not going to be a really easy way to get into the into Recon's base and get an Ancestors Eclipse onto economy. So Kimo's going to have to start thinking about maybe using this God Power a little differently than he likes to. And the way to use it, I think, is to just get cheap myth units out and then take advantage of Eclipse with a whole bunch of myth units and the Ancestors Eclipse to do a little something with the assistance of that. As we do see some raiding cavalry coming through. They've spotted the Pharaoh. They've spotted everything else out. Kimo, no real response here. Decides to turn around and actually start shanking here. With a bit of the shoot and scoot there. Orb walking the villagers. Does lose one, but takes out a couple of raiding cavalry as well in the process. There's a Spearman coming up onto this spot. Berserk going to be repairing this one back up. And we see a prosperity coming through here for Kimo as well. As the game will continue. But Kimo at the moment, what is his plan? He's got one migdol. He's getting himself Levy. Empowering it up with his 6 HP Pharaoh. 14 villagers on food. 26 on gold with that prosperity to boost that up. He is building chariot archers and everything else with these units here. Going to be a little bit lackluster against the thrown axemen that are out for the time being. Plus we see Bragi coming through now for Recon. Kimo is going to get himself up a migdol stronghold over here. Is this a hill fort? No. Oh, he's not in the myth hero location. Did he get the upgrade? He still doesn't have safeguard. No! So Relic Monkey is going to be moving around here. We see the age up coming in. So now Kimo says, oh, maybe if I put some pressure on now, we'll see how it's going to work. But 150 pop for Recon versus 120 for Kimo here is a huge advantage for the Loki player. He's going to be looking to move forward and grab this town center as well as the monkeys do come in. They spot some villagers putting up a town center here. These monkeys are slapping. Look at them go. Will they get a villager kill? Answer is no. No villager kill for him. As Recon continues to put pressure on the raiding cavalry, charging in here to try and take out some of these units. Units retreating back into the migdol stronghold for the time being. Flaming weapons is on the cards here, but half the units are missing as the ironry has more than enough flaming weapons for this position. Kimo is in a very, very difficult position right now as the battle boar to help take down the migdol stronghold very, very fast. Thrown Axeman going to be moving forward to try and avoid migdol stronghold fire, but nonetheless, migdol stronghold goes down. Heavy raiding cavalry are in as Recon's economy is shooting through into the stratosphere at the moment, and all because of that Rig Stula technology and the early game advantage garnered by Undermine. So migdol stronghold coming through for Kimo. He's got 2 up again. It's not really enough for him to pump these units out all too fast. As the raiding cavalry going to be popping down to the bottom side here. Berserk's getting cleaned up over here as well. As the raiding cavalry sneaking through onto this position, looking for anything on the back. He does see those animals at the back position, but nothing there for the time being. He could decide to just turn in and try and take the town center down, but the army is waiting, watching as the siege work's going to come through. And now Recon decides it's time to pounce. Kimo a little bit slow on this reaction. We see a troll spawn here as well. It'd be very, very helpful. Huge amount of villager kills with this raid. A couple of raiding cavalry go down, but it's not the biggest of deals here. As the spearmen come in, going to get a little bit of a pokey poke onto this position, but he will be pulling up here to hide underneath the hill fort. A couple more long houses going to come through as well. That's Call of Valhalla now coming in. You have to remember these Berserks don't have mithril breastplates, so they're not as bulky against the spearmen, but this is still going to be really nice for him to get a whole bunch of population or favor in from that population. We'll see how he's going to go here as the battle board's charging through. There's the flaming weapons getting dropped down in reaction to the Ancestors Eclipse as Kimo going to attempt to hold here. It's full population for both players, but it's looking like there's just not that much stuff here at the moment. Lots of units actually holding up at the top position there for Recon. He's sniping units over here as well towards the town center. As the Berserks are going to be piling in, both players dropping down in population in a really big way. As it looks like Kimo may be holding. I'm not 100% sure how to call this one here. The Chariot Archer is going to be able to snipe down those Stone Axemen very, very quickly. As the Chariot Archers pulling away. And all of a sudden, Knight is still going, but the population for Recon is still stonking. And Kimo is in a world of hurt. He's been raided to the nines here. He's down to 63 villages versus 96. As a hill fort coming up in the center of the map. Still no safeguard. Safeguard basically pays itself off after you get 2 hill forts. Such a good technology. This town center can get torn down as well if Recon really wants to, but Kimo is in a very difficult position moving forward here as Recon going to be retreating back up, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's the Mythic Age. I would have actually expected Tyr here, given how many hill forts he's got. He can get a whole bunch of bravery Huskal in this game. Very, very quickly, might I add, with the amount of hill forts he's going to be having. Gold mine in the center of the map getting grabbed as Recon now deciding to charge in to the middle position. The army going to be fending off those Chariot Archers up here, going to be charging in to take out the monument to the soldiers here as well. So that one going down. We see some more Chariot Archers getting cleaned up. And Undermine to get dropped down through both of these migdol strongholds and the town center. A little bit of damage, but damage nonetheless as the town center is going to get torn down. Kimo needs to decide, well, does he sack it? Does he keep playing? Or does he try and charge in and take this fight? But there's just so many units here for Recon. And Recon now about to hit the Mythic Age with full population and more units coming to boot. We see the Scorpion Man coming in. This is a big help in this position, but the Nidhogg's going to drop down onto these Chariot Archers or over here onto these gold villages here. Doesn't matter which one. And Kimo in that moment says GG as he does decide to tap out. A well-executed Heimdall game here for Recon, but Kimo just playing into it really, really poorly, I'd say. In my estimation, if you ever see Heimdall coming from Loki, your best bet with Isis, especially on this map, is just to play a one town center fast heroic. In fact, on this map, in general, one town center fast heroic from Isis is just really, really good against Heimdall. Against Ferocity as well, to be honest. Any sort of one town center play here is amazing. You could also drop a village center if you really want a 2 town center timing attack. That can be a good way to go. But yeah, well played by Recon. Showing the power of this Heimdall. I mean, you can get so much economy going, but he also had villager kills as well. 55-0 here in this game. As you see the differential in resources, but even more so in civilian units. And that tells the story of a million tales. Recon walks away with the win. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.